Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this new novel album. It is their self-titled debut. Now, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I saw a little buzz for these guys, saw some singles, thought I'd check them out, and to be honest, I got really excited at first. These singles were very tight, very artsy, very old school post-punk and dance punk. Fans of Gang of Four, Talking Heads in their early days, or especially Wire, are absolutely going to want to check this out. I'm excited to talk about it. Let's do it. This album starts off with To Whom It May Concern. Wow, what an opener. This track is amazing. Right off the bat, these guys have a fantastic sound. I love the very jittery guitars, and in this case, the very tense, anxiety-filled performance comes off really old school. But even outside of that, the songwriting is very compelling and leads to some really oddball moments, but all of them are great. There's some art rock, there's some dance punk, there's some post-punk, all of it coming off classy though. And on top of all that, this chorus just brings everything together. This is just a fantastic punk tune. On the other hand, Natural is much more upbeat and dance punk influenced. Like, this is their first album. I have no idea how they got this sound down so quickly. As a matter of fact, a lot of times here, they don't really sound like new tracks, they sound like lost classics from the early 80s. The riff is killer, but the real surprise here is that saxophone that pops in during the chorus. Didn't expect that, didn't think it would work here, but it is awesome. Honestly, I haven't heard a collection of punk tunes like this that got me up and grooving in a really long time. Tracks like Take For You just seem to come so smoothly to Novel. As a matter of fact, I really love the edgy and more dark tone here. More about that later. But on this one, it's a whole lot more rigid. I can assure you there's no dancing in sight. It's a legitimately gloomy sound, and honestly, I freaking love it. And there's just this sense of mystery to this track. It's not something I'm used to hearing with dance punk and post-punk, at least not at this stage. It's really exciting. Not to mention, all of these tracks are done with just such an amazing appreciation for this sound. And Will to Power is easily one of the most off-kilter and hard-to-place tracks here. It's just so fluid and full of energy and even sort of airy in parts. It's fantastic. By now, you certainly know the drill. The grooves are tight, the riffs are punchy, and even though this track is an instrumental practically for the first half, I don't end up missing the vocals at all. It's that good. And in its second half, it picks up into this much more aggressive, punky feeling, and then it just becomes intriguing for all sorts of different reasons. And these oddball horns return and end up making this track just a little fun, just enough. Now this album, it's really short. It's like 26 minutes and only 8 songs. But if I had to say one issue that I have here, and it's a big one, is Novel has to really watch it with this sound, because there's a few times on here where they end up just coming off like a cover band. On Sign on the Line early in the album, for a few short minutes they completely sound out of their element. Here I can't help but feel like their performances are legitimately goofy, and most of all, overly dramatic. And the worst part is, these are genres that demand overly dramatic performances. Like, I'm not completely bored, but this is easily the lowest point on the album. And I have a lot of the same feelings for Suspicion. I can enjoy this track a lot, but this sounds like a Wire cover. A good one, but a cover nonetheless. I actually do really love the vocals here. They're some of the most hypnotic on the album. However, I just can't help but feel like I'm listening to an art punk and post-punk and dance punk compilation. But Novel really knock it out of the park with the final 2 tracks here. Are They is completely gravy. This track is awesome. I love the throwback synths here. I honestly actually feel like some of the more upbeat and airy tunes here are some of the catchiest. And I don't know what happened to the vocals on this track, but my god, these are the most commanding and most charismatic vocals of the entire album. I want to hear more of this. Oh my god, and I love just the way that it sounds like he's just throwing up these vocals. It's so exciting. I love it. And Division as a finale, where did this come from? This track is awesome. Compared to every other track here, this is legitimately unnerving and seriously dark. It's just so grainy and robotic. Like, I almost feel like this is an otherworldly Gary Newman track. It's still very upbeat and sort of fun at times, and it's very stiff, but it's so much darker and so much more grim, and I personally can't get enough of that. And oddly enough, it ends up making this like the most emotional track of the bunch. So honestly, as a debut album, this rocks. Like, there's a lot of really great stuff on here. I mean, there's a couple of tracks here where I feel like they come off too much like a cover band, and then there's another couple of tracks where I wish that they would mix things up a little, But honestly, overall, this is great. And I also just sort of wish that this was a little longer. I mean, it's only 8 tracks in like 28 minutes. I could have easily gone for a few more tunes. But anywho, these guys have a great sound. If you're into old school dance punk, post-punk, or art punk, you're going to want to listen to this. Solid debut. Really excited to hear what these guys are going to be doing in the future. For now, I'm feeling a very strong 7 on this album. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like and a subscribe. And let me know down below if there's any music you'd like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a good day, guys.